What is going on, guys? It's Sarge and welcome to Overwatch the Breakdown, and in this episode we're going to be talking to you guys about Genji, the robotic ninja of Overwatch. So without further ado, let's get started. Now the first thing people always want to know when it comes to characters in Overwatch is how much health do they really have. Now Genji has 200 health with no shields or any armor, so he is a pretty squishy character, but what makes up for him is his really fast mobility and his agileness, being able to walk around the map and being able to climb with his cybernetic abilities. Now his primary weapon is his shurikens. He's able to fire 3 shurikens in a 3-round burst, and he's able to fire roughly about 1 shot per second, so you can fire pretty quickly with this weapon. It does fly at a 47 meter per second speed, so you're able to hit targets from a long distance without having to track them too much, and each of the projectiles do 28 damage per shot, so with a maximum of 84 damage if all 3 hit. This weapon can do a lot of damage if they make full contact, and with the extra headshot damage, this can lead up to 168 damage, which is not enough to kill most people in the game outside of Tracer, but it can dish out a lot of damage in a short amount of time with him. Now his secondary fire is the fan of blades, which is pretty much the same thing except it's a fan going from left to right. Being able to project 3 projectiles at the same time from left to right, you're able to hit enemies that are flying, enemies that move fast, pretty much anything of that nature. And the huge difference between it does have a much faster fire rate, so you're able to shoot them much quicker compared to your primary fire. It does the same amount of damage and the same headshot damage, so if you're able to land this up close and personal with somebody and do a melee strike, you can outright kill a lot of squishies in the game, and it can help you fight agile targets, which is really good. Now it does have a 24 ammo magazine capacity, so you can fire roughly about 12 shots before you have to reload, which only takes about 1 second, which is really good, so you can get your shurikens back real quick, which is good. Now his first ability is Swift Strike. This ability allows him to charge at an enemy pretty much like a straight line, doing 50 damage to any enemy he hits in his way. He does move at a speed of 35 meters per second with a 14 meter maximum. It only lasts less than a second, so it'll be pretty quickly, and the cooldown takes about 8 seconds. However, if you do get an elimination with the actual Swift Strike or any of your weapons, it will automatically reset the cooldown, so you're able to use it again and again if you're fighting targets who are getting one-shotted and have low health. So the best way to use this ability really is to just use it as an elimination tool. When you see a crowd of enemies that are about to die, you can easily Swift Strike through them and they'll never be able to hit you with the amount of speed that you have. It'll be really hard to track you with the speed that you have. And it's also really good to getting to high places even if you're not using your wall climbing. It is good to get to high places and to move at a high speed if you're trying to get to a target or something. So it does help you outside of fighting, which is really good, so it's a multi-purpose kind of ability. Now his second ability is Deflect, which allows you to deflect any projectile thrown at you, even ultimates, which is really good. However, it doesn't really work with a lot of abilities such as Mei's freeze gun, Symmetra's laser, and even Zarya's laser rifle. So anything that has to do with lasers do not really work against the Deflect. It will go right through it, and even Roadhog's hook will just get blocked as if it hit a wall, which is really good. So it's a pretty useful ability if you just want to send damage right back at him. And it only has a 2-second duration, so you have to make this quick when it comes to what you're trying to do with this ability and not waste it. It does have an 8-second cooldown, so using this right is really important in his arsenal. Now his ultimate ability, Dragon Blade, he pulls out his katana, being able to do 120 damage per swing with 1 swing per second for 6 seconds. So he's able to swing 6 times at enemies, dishing out 120 damage, which is really good. And it does have a little bit of range, so you don't actually have to be right in front of the enemy. You can be a small distance away, but not that much. And it does give you an extra Swift Strike, so if you're really trying to kill and eliminate enemies, you can do a lot of damage with this ability. Being able to kill squishies in a matter of seconds and wiping out an entire team is really what this weapon is known for, and it's really just the bread and butter of his abilities. Being able to get this as much as possible during a game is really important, since this can really be a game changer when you want to eliminate squishies and supports. Now the way to use Genji is really to play in some ways the flanker and also just the disruptor, being able to go in, dish out some damage, and walk out as fast as possible. and just be a nuisance to the other team, trying to distract them and keep them focused on you while your teammates come in and attack them. He's a really good character when it comes to flanking and being able to dish out a lot of damage if done right. However, getting too cocky with him can get you killed a lot of the time like me. As a person playing on console, to me it's a little more difficult to actually use him, and I'm not really a fan of actually using Genji. Getting the gameplay for this video was already difficult enough, and you really can't pay me to use Genji. I'm sorry, I'm just not one of those Genji users, but there's a lot of people out there that really know how to use Genji, and I'm just not one of them. So if you're expecting any good gameplay out of me for this video, don't expect too much. So that'll be the video for today, guys. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay frosty.